right there when you're in the glory, because God's there. He's right there. So everything.
It's also the differences in the past. It might take a lot of meditating on the Word and prayer, hours and hours of prayer, and time. It seems to me that in the glory, it's instant.
Exactly. When you're in the glory, the presence of God is on you so strong that your heart and his are one, so he will give you the prayers he wants you to pray for the things he wants you to do. You know it. You pray it, and it's done.
You say this is payback time.
Yes, that's what the Lord has told me. That we have gone through 2020 was a horrible, horrible year. God did not do this. The enemy did this to us. And the Lord has shown me that we are in a time right now where he is going to cause the enemy to pay back what he's stolen from us, what we've lost. This is payback time. And he said it's not going to be 1 year of payback, where great glory is going to be poured out on the world, where great, wonderful miracles, inventions, wonderful things are going to happen. He said it's going to be 10 years. I'm going to give my children 10 years for the one that the enemy robbed from them. Many people have suffered terribly, Sid, during this last year. Terribly. They've lost loved ones. They've lost income. They've lost so much. And God says, I see it. I know it. And I'm going to pay you back.
Well, you call it the payback of the good and the evil harvest.
All right. This is after he spoke to me about the war and everything. Now, a few months ago, he spoke to me. He said, in the past, I told you that there was going to be a war coming to your land to mobilize the troops. He said, now I'm telling you, a great harvest is coming. Get ready for it. And I asked him, how do we get ready for this? He said, with intimate fellowship with me, spending time with me, spending time in my glory and in my presence. That's how you get ready for this great harvest. And he said, it's going to be a harvest, not just of the good deeds my children have sown, but it's also going to be a harvest of the wicked seeds and the wicked deeds people have done in secret. That when you sow seeds in a garden, all of a sudden, the seeds are under the dirt. No one sees. They don't know what seed you sowed. All of a sudden, they start springing up, and you see the plant, you see the fruit. He said, this is the hour when those things that were sown in secret are going to come to the surface, and they're going to flourish, they're going to grow, and everyone's going to see whether you sowed something good or whether you sowed something evil. And my angels are going forth to harvest the good, and people are going to be rewarded and blessed for the good. And those things that were so wicked, evil things, also are going to be exposed, and people are going to be reaping judgment for those things they did.
Donna, I keep hearing this word for myself, but this is for everyone. God told you, look for the suddenlies.
He said, I'm going to be doing things suddenly. Very sudden. He said, just like when Jesus died, he's in the tomb, and all his disciples are just heartbroken, and they're afraid because they think they're going to get crucified too. And they're devastated. They felt like Jesus was their answer, their hope, and now he's gone. And so they're all hiding away and afraid. And all of a sudden, suddenly, Jesus rose from the dead. And everybody knew, because it was suddenly, that it was God. And God said, in the same way, this is what I'm going to be doing in this hour. Suddenly, I'm going to appear. Suddenly, I'm going to arise. Suddenly, I'm going to do miracles in ways people couldn't imagine. People are going to try to figure out, well, maybe it'll happen this way, that way. God says, suddenly, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it in such a way that everybody knows I did it, and I will get the glory for it.
Donna is going to pray for you to have daily encounters with God, just like she does. She says anyone can do this. And that means you, me. Be right back. Hello, YouTube, Mishpocha. Mishpocha is a Hebrew word. It means family. This is Sid Roth. Welcome to my world, where it's naturally supernatural. If you've been blessed by this show, please subscribe. Then click the bell so you won't miss a single episode of It's Supernatural.
We now return to It's Supernatural.
Donna Rigby is taken to heaven often. And she has revelation from Jesus that when she shares, it changes everything about you. For instance, Donna, you had an encounter in the glory, and Jesus said, and boy, would you like Jesus to say this to you, you are protected.
I was sitting in the Spirit on the top of the mountain. Often he brings me to this place I call the Mountain of Intimacy. And we sit together on a seat overlooking the world. And as we were sitting there, demons were climbing up the mountain. And as they got near the crest of the mountain, they started throwing grenades at me. And angels came, and they picked up the grenades. They handed them to Jesus. He took the pin out of the grenades and then gave them back to the angels, and the angels threw them back down the mountain at the demons, and the demons left. And he showed me, he said, when you're sitting in my presence, when you're in my glory, that's how protected you are. And I knew that the pins that he took out of the grenades was the only bit of truth that was in those missiles, in those grenades that the enemy was trying to throw at me. So there was a little bit of truth. You know, the enemy fabricates things. He threatens us. We hear, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. This will happen to your husband or your finances, whatever. And the Lord took that one little bit of truth that was in there. He says, I'll take care of the little bit of truth that's in it. And you're fine. I'll take care of everything. You don't need to worry about a thing because you're resting, abiding in my shelter of my wing, and you're abiding in my glory. And I will cause what the enemy said he was going to do to you to come right back on him.
Everyone knows we're in a pandemic of coronavirus, but you see a greater pandemic coming. Tell me about that greater pandemic.
He says, oh yeah, the enemy's trying to spread this wicked virus, with contagion. Watch what I do with the glory. I'm going to spread my glory with contagion. He said, but you're not going to have to touch somebody or breathe on them or cough on them for this to spread. He said, this glory is going to be spread just with people looking in your eyes, people seeing you on the internet, on television, on a phone call. He says, you're not even going to have to tangibly touch somebody, but my glory is going to spread even greater and wider and further than the coronavirus.
Donna,